Madam Chair of the Commission for Social Development, Your Excellency Ambassador Maria de Carmen Scaff, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to address the opening of the 60th session of the Commission for Social Development. As we meet today, the world continues to respond to the devastating impact of a global pandemic that has deeply affected the most vulnerable in our societies. The COVID-19 crisis has exacerbated inequalities and multiple forms of deprivation. Despite the wide availability of vaccines in developed and some mid-income countries, the prospect of global recovery is darkened by uneven access to vaccines. The world is not on track to meet the most fundamental sustainable development goal of eradicating extreme poverty. Without decisive action, the number of people living in extreme poverty is expected to reach 600 million, or 7% of the world's population by 2030. Without a doubt, the pandemic has highlighted the critical role of social policies to protect people most in need, in particular, children and elder persons, persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, and people living in rural areas. Many countries acted by instituting emergency measures to mitigate the worst impacts of the pandemic. One key lesson is the importance of universal access to social protection to enhance economic and food security in times of crisis. From December 2020 to May 2021, total spending on social protection rose by almost 270%, reaching $2.9 trillion. Many of these measures must become permanent as the countries strive for an inclusive and resilient recovery to get back on track to implement the 2030 agenda. Distinguished delegates, recovery from the crisis provides a policy window for accelerating progress to achieve the SDGs. As societies around the world begin to move towards recovery, 4 priorities in particular will enable the world to recover in a unified way. First, investing in people is key. Health, education, and affordable housing are important elements for building resilience and rebuilding livelihoods. Service provision and delivery should aim to progressively achieve universal access, paying specific attention to the needs of the most vulnerable and disadvantaged groups and communities is key. Second, it is necessary to address multiple causes of poverty, hunger, and inequality by creating decent work and other income-generating opportunities. Examples show that public procurement and other programs can be used to support local production, small-scale producers, and family farmers. Third, it is critical to build nationally appropriate universal social protection systems that are adequate, comprehensive, and sustainable, including nationally defined social protection floors. Social protection schemes need to be gender sensitive and designed with the needs of the most vulnerable in mind. And lastly, food systems must become more efficient, inclusive, and resilient, and sustainable, delivering healthy diets to end hunger. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, with the economic recovery globally in the forthcoming 2 or 3 years, the social issues as a result of the current crisis will remain to be addressed by the international community in the forthcoming decade. The Secretary General Guterres suggested in his report on our common agenda the convening of the World Social Summit in 2025 to integrate global consensus on social development and social protection. The issue of convening such summits will be discussed during the thematic dialogues organized by the PGA in February and March. We expect strong support of the member states. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, let us leverage our collective efforts to deliver on the 2030 agenda and build a society that truly leaves no one behind. I wish you successful deliberations. I thank you.